Hello and welcome back to my channel. If you are new to my channel, my name is Lorraine and I'm going to be covering in this video Pisces Sun with Aries Moon. Now I'm going to start off the video by talking about what a typical Pisces Sun is like, and then I'm going to get into talking about the moon placement. So if there's some things about the sun sign that don't quite resonate or seem to quite match you personally or the person that you know with this pairing, then hang on till you hear the moon sign, and then it will probably tie together quite nicely and make a lot of sense. Now, before I get started, I want to let you know about a draw that I host every month. Basically, people who subscribe to my channel will be entered to win a free astrology birth chart reading. And so if you want to find out how you can enter to win that draw, then hang around to the end of the video and I will explain how to enter. That said, let's get started with Pisces. So when someone has their sun in Pisces, they are generally very sensitive, caring, and just vibrant dreamers. They love to get lost in their imagination, probably thinking of mystical realms and spiritual stuff. You know, they kind of have their head in the clouds a little bit to a degree, and a lot of Pisces like to get high off of really anything, whether that's high on life, meditation, sex, drugs, like you name it. The Pisces love to just feel like they're ascending beyond their bodies, sort of thing. Now, because they have their head in the clouds a little bit, Pisces aren't the most observant people in the world, and that's why they kind of have the reputation or the stereotype of being kind of gullible or not really knowing what's going on. You know, humor goes over their head, and that's one of the reasons. The other reason is that Pisces just assume the best in people, and they take things very literally, and they always assume that whoever is talking to them or approaching them has good intentions and is being honest. They just always assume that people are being honest with them, and so that's why stuff like sarcasm will kind of go over their head and they'll not really get it. So that's kind of where the naive stereotype comes into play with Pisces. Pisces really care about others. They are the last sign of the zodiac, and so they tend to be quite self-sacrificial. The whole mythology of the zodiac is that Pisces like sacrificed itself and then birthed Aries, which is the first sign of the zodiac. And so it's a self-sacrificial sign, and they always have this tendency to always put other people's needs and wants ahead of their own, which can be really great in that they're just a really great person and they'll really give their all in helping others. But the reality is that a lot of people don't return the favor, and so this does can a lot of the time result in Pisces getting taken advantage of, because they're just always giving and always wanting to help people, and they're never putting their own needs or wants first, and so then they kind of get burnt out or just spread too thin, because they're giving so much to other people and not really getting the same or as much or anything in return sometimes. I think every Pisces has a rude awakening or a sobering moment in life where they realize that not everyone is as generous or self-sacrificial or just selfless as them or willing to help other people. And so this can kind of lead to some Pisces becoming bitter or manipulative, or substance abuse is a common one with Pisces. And that's where the negative stereotypes that you may have heard about Pisces are that they're manipulative. And I find that this is usually the case because of them having been burned too many times. Not many Pisces, start out that way. Pisces don't start out being manipulative and abusing substances or what have you. They get there because their kind nature has been taken advantage of one too many times, and they then assume that everyone has bad intentions. That said, though, Pisces are just really loving, kind-hearted, generous people that aren't very observant and may seem like they kind of have one foot in another realm. I find Pisces has a hard time being present. They are always their mind is always kind of off, not where they currently are. They can be doing one thing and then thinking about this, then they can be doing that other thing and thinking about the other one. So they sometimes have a hard time, I think, being present in what they're in real life. You're having 2 feet planted firmly on earth. Pisces thinks that the world will just be a much better place if everyone just got along, right? They want everyone to get along, and they hate conflict. And so they're kind of like, the sign of Pisces is a fish, and so as soon as there's conflict, they're kind of like a slimy little fish. You can't catch them. And they have a tendency to see life and people, if they haven't been burned too many times, if they're like a healthy Pisces, they tend to kind of have a very rosy-eyed view of things, and kind of expect the best in people. Like I said, they're expecting people to have good intentions. They're expecting people to be completely honest with them, and that's not always the case. And Pisces will also be the kind of person that will, have people that just take advantage of them and are not very good people, but they keep thinking that, no, like I see that they're actually a good person underneath the surface, or like I know they have good in them. And sometimes like that's not really the case. Like I'm sure like all people are capable of good, but Pisces just hangs in and tries to like see the best of people, even if it's not necessarily there. And as a result, that's where they get taken advantage of, is because they don't want to ever think that someone is a lost cause. And so they will get burned and keep trying to and keep believing that, no, actually, like, this person is a good person, but for this and this reason they do it. Pisces are really good at justifying why people do what they do, and why people are not great sometimes. If Pisces knows someone or other people that do bad things or hurt other people or hurt that Pisces, then the Pisces is really good at justifying, like, oh, it's okay, they got left at the store when they were a kid and their dad didn't love them enough, so it's not really their fault. And so Pisces is really good at justifying other people's actions, even when they're like the brunt of those actions. And so basically the best course of action for Pisces is to learn to put their own wants and needs ahead of other people, and to start like developing boundaries. Boundaries is a huge one for Pisces that is difficult to learn, because they want to be one with everything and everyone, and they want to be part of this, this unity in this collective consciousness, and one with the earth and one with other people and everything, and they just want to be united and everything. And so it's difficult for them to learn boundaries, because they don't know where the other person ends and they begin. And that is kind of the thing that Pisces needs to learn, is to develop boundaries and have a clear set boundary of where they are and where the other person is, and learn to start satisfying their own wants and needs, because not everyone is as like selfless and sacrificial as they are. And that, even if people do have a reason for their actions, that they don't have to be the brunt of it. They don't have to stick around and hang around these people that treat them this way. They may have their reasons, but that does not mean that they themselves have to be the brunt or the punching bag or the doormat for this person. So I'm going to get to the moon placement, but first I wanted to let you know about a free training that I have officially released. I'm really excited about it. So if you are wanting to learn even more about yourself and how you can use astrology to better understand yourself and discover your purpose, then I think you're going to really love the free training that I made. It's basically detailing all about how you can use astrology to better your life and discover your purpose and live a fulfilling life that is unique to you based off of astrology. And if you watch the training, then you can book a call to learn even more about it and how I can help you further. And there's also a bunch of bonus resources that you can get access to completely for free. Now let's get back to the moon sign. So now we get to Aries Moon. So a typical Aries Moon is very passionate, energetic, vivacious, self-confident, outspoken, and very adventurous. They really enjoy freedom, they welcome change, and they don't want to be tied down or controlled by other people. They want to be in charge of their life and what they do and their destiny. Aries moons and Aries placements in general are extremely impatient. I think it's probably one of the most impatient signs in the zodiac, and they like being the best. They like being in charge, and as a result they tend to need to get their own way and need to be right about things. And the negative tendency of Aries moons is they can be a bit petty and possibly hold a grudge, depending on the person. Now, Aries placements in general have so much passion and this energy. They have a negative tendency with their temper and trying to keep that under control. And basically, the thing that Aries needs is a way, like a positive outlet for all of that passion and all of that energy, because that tends to build up if they don't have that outlet, and then will usually express itself in this really like temperamental, like anger and frustration. And so the best course of action for Aries placements in general, but especially Aries moons, because it's governing the emotions, is to find ways to process those healthily, and then they won't have like too much trouble with the temper. But it's just the nice thing about Aries, the temper though, is that it's not sustained, right? Really everything with Aries is just so intense for short periods of time. You know, if life is a marathon, for Aries it's a series of sprints, and so they just have all of these bursts of energy. And so even if they are temperamental and have this rage or this anger, it has a short lifespan, because really anything that Aries does has a short lifespan, because they just have so much energy that it's not sustainable for a long period of time. So a lot of this is really different from Pisces, because Pisces is the last sign of the zodiac. It's very self-sacrificial and like has a me last mentality, versus Aries is the first sign of the zodiac, so they have a me first mentality. So this can be slightly polarizing, but I think it actually is a really good balance and will really help Pisces out when it comes to overextending themselves or spreading themselves too thin. And so when you have this combination, you have someone who is really loving and loves to help other people and give to other people, just loves people and wants to be united. But then at the same time, they probably have a very clear distinction of themselves. They're probably much more likely to stick up for themselves, a lot more self-assured than a typical Pisces. They're far less likely to lose themselves in helping other people and not know, where they end and the other person begins. That's far less likely. So overall, this adds a lot of passion and vitality behind Pisces, and a lot more drive, and also gives Pisces a lot more self-assuredness and boundaries, and this ability to stick up for themselves and fulfill their own wants and needs. And then Pisces is a really great balance for Aries in helping overcome the maybe being too selfish. It's far less likely that they'll be overbearing or have these temperamental flare-ups because they have the Pisces, which just loves people and is a very selfless attitude. And then it also is really helpful for Pisces in that it's far less likely that they have been burned too many times, because you have that Aries moon sticking up for itself and having a sure sense of self and being like, hey, no, that's not okay. Like, you may have your reasons for being a shitty person, but I don't have to be here to take it. And that's the thing that would be great, is having the Aries moon that will help prevent Pisces from allowing themselves to be a punching bag. And as a result of not allowing that to happen, then they're far less likely to slip into those manipulative and bitter tendencies that Pisces can slip into if they've been burned too many times and taken advantage of, because you have that Aries moon looking out for them. So that is all I have planned for today's video. As promised, if you want to know how to enter into a draw and potentially win a free birth chart reading from myself for this month, all you have to do is subscribe to my channel and then comment below letting me know that you have done so, and then give me some sort of topic or some astrology thing that you would like to learn. That's going to be really helpful for me making content. I love making the sun moon combinations, but I'm wanting to start making some more content. So if you have ideas of stuff that you would like to learn, or if you just simply have a question, I could make a question and answer video if that interests people. So to enter the free astrology birth chart reading, subscribe and comment below letting me know astrology questions or a video that you would like me to make in the future, and then you will be entered to win the draw for the end of March. That is all for now. Thank you so much for watching. Take care.